What is up? What is up, man? Man, what is going on? What is going on? Man, I'm back. Black in the motherfucking building. You already know who the fuck I am. I'm that nigga Warren G, the place to be. Been clown and sucker free since 2003. Knowing that can't nobody finesse me. I'm not playing that finessing shit at all. Shout out to everybody else at the Court Plantation. If you're not at the Court Plantation, you better get your ass there. You better hurry up. You better get there. Better get your ass up and go to work. Cause on payday, that shit gonna hurt. So you better get your ass to work. Shout out to everybody out there. If you working graveyard, man, I fuck with you. God damn, that shit is not easy. If you're not working graveyard and you just doing what you need to do to survive, man, hey, I fuck with it. Court Plantation ain't nothing nice. The shit is not fun. I hate it. I don't give a fuck how many days you take off. Man, that last day that you off, you like, man, god damn, man. Ah. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody out there, man. Making it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Trying to survive, scratch and survive, man. Shout out to everybody out there that is taking every day as a stride towards being better the next day. Shout out to all my finessing ass motherfuckers that sit around and beg and Sambo and Coon and Buck Dance and tell them about the Gunline Boss. You know, and shout out to everybody out there that is being aware of all the bullshit that's going on in our society today. I'm gonna just tell you right now, man. I've been watching a lot of shit play out, and shout out to Michael K. Williams, his family, and R.I.P. to that brother. And the reason why I say that is because it's just sad to see that happen to our people. And the reason why I say that is because we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about, you know, the quality of life. We're going to talk about how our life is different from everybody else. If you're a foundational Black American or just a melanated brother or sister, it's just a lot different. There's a lot of stressors that we have, a lot of things that we got to do. So we're going to get into it. Shout out to my nigga No Compromise. I fuck with it. The nigga got at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta fuck with that nigga. That's my nigga right there, man. Shout out to everybody else. If you be leaving messages on the YouTube, I be trying to look and see. Sometimes it don't show them and sometimes it do. But we gonna get into that, man. We gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about just the stressors of being a melanated brother or sister and having to be integrated into this sick system of racism and white supremacy. So we're gonna get into it right now, man. Man. R.I.P. to to Michael K. Williams, a great actor, a very seasoned actor, been in Hollywood a long time. You never heard no shiesty or shady shit about him, and that's sad because we lost a good brother, but we still have Larry Elder walking around here samboing and cooning. I don't understand that. I don't understand people, period, man, but I know what it is. It's about socialization, and when you're socially engineering people to feel like, hey, man, we're going to pay you this, you're going to live a comfortable life, you just ain't got to say shit. You know, it's one thing, but when you go out of your way to sambo and coon and buck dance and Hayward Shepherd your way to the whatever you think is the top. I watched this documentary. I forgot what it was called. It was on Amazon Prime, and it had Candace Owens, and it had a whole bunch of buck dancing coons in there. And I just was listening to these motherfuckers like, man, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? You know what I mean? And I just find it very bizarre that our brother Michael K. Williams, I wouldn't even say bizarre. I would find it that I think he kept a lot of his stressors away from people. And I think when people see you in Hollywood, they be thinking that you got it and you really don't. The payers in Hollywood are white Jewish people. They're not black people. I don't give a fuck about it. I got love for Tyler Perry, but fuck all that. I'm going to make my own seat. Yeah, nigga, but you're on their networks. And if they don't want you on their networks, you and your funky ass seat is going to be in the goddamn garbage can. So I don't understand. We need to stop this delusion of grandeur and this illusion of inclusion, or separate from illusion of inclusion, like, oh, well, I'm going to build my own seat. No, nigga. You can with restraints of the dominant white society. You know, oh, you give them too much credit. No, they dominate 9 areas of people activity. You need to go read the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cresswell Sings. Go read The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code of Ethics by Neely Fuller Jr. Just go read those books. You can read a couple of chapters and it's going to tell you what's going on. And when I hear about Michael K. Williams, I'm going to just say this. The dominant white society brung those fucking drugs into the United States of America off the backs of black folk. Your good buddy George Bush, Prescott Bush's son. See, y'all motherfuckers need to do y'all history on the Bush or the Bushes or, you know, Prescott Bush and all of them. What they did. Man, stop, man. Go look it up. Go look it up for yourself, man. These people funding a war illegally, so they want to bring crack cocaine into the motherfucking United States of America and put it in basically plant the seeds of deception and discord through drugs in the black community, and then tell us just say no. So when I think of all these drugs and all that, and I see my people on it, there's two things. Our brother was probably dealing with a great minefield of stress. You know, motherfuckers think because you in Hollywood that you made it and all this other shit. Nigga, you ain't made it. You got motherfuckers like Jesse Moistet basically lying and making it seem like he got kidnapped and I'm the gay Tupac and all this bullshit. Then when it came out that nigga, you was lying, that's because that nigga was probably a dope fiend too. Or not just that. Hey man, you get addicted to these things, there's a certain stress, but I would say the stress is different for a person like a Michael K. Williams because he really was in tune with the streets and really was in tune with his blackness and knowing what's going on, and, you know, very good actor. You know what I mean? And I don't think people realize the type of stress that black folk go through in Hollywood. We know what it is. They want to put the dress on you. They want to give you the fucking stereotypical roles. They always want you to play a nigga or a thug or some bullshit. And then when you start to educate yourself and educate people around you, you stop getting those roles. They stop looking at you a certain way. And when you're dealing with the dominant white society's drugs, you know, you're dealing with the Matrix. They control that shit. They are the agents of the system. So they're going to give you all your devices and all your proclivities and magnify them times 10. So if you like money and bitches and shit like that, nigga, they going to throw every bitch at you that they possibly can. They going to throw all the money at you as you can so you can be under their thumb. And then you will never speak against that system. And we need to start valuing life and valuing each other. That brother was going through a great deal of stress. And I don't think people really understood. Now, what I don't like is, this is what I don't like about social media. Everybody want to put up posts about a motherfucker, and everybody want to show pictures of when they was with this person and all this other stuff. But what was you doing when they was alive, though? You know, I don't want to hear no great. I'm tired of hearing great stories about people when they dead. What are you doing with them when they're alive? Because all these great stories are not doing this brother or his family any fucking good. You know what I mean? If this brother was dealing with that type of stress, just because a person is telling you, yeah, man, we good, I'm all right, I'm good, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. That could mean that they're pretending to be good. They might have a great amount of stress on their head. You have to understand this, man. It's like you working at a corn plantation. They paying you, say you was making, say, you know, you started off making $8 an hour. Start making $8 an hour, and then you bust your ass, you finally get that big break at that good city of Las Vegas job, or whatever city or whatever you work in. And now they want to take you from $8 an hour to $20 an hour. You know, that may not sound like a lot in this day and time, but just imagine you make $8 an hour and they take you to $20 an hour in one, you know, in a progression, but damn near all in what woo-wop. So you making it $20 an hour. Now your bills are at $20 an hour. Your bills are no longer at $8 an hour. They're at $20. But as your bills are at $20 an hour or whatever your salary is, everything around you is up too. So it isn't just the bills that you're creating. It's everything else. Everything, supply and demand, everything goes up. The value of a dollar goes down, but everything goes up. That's what happens when they say inflation. There's just too much money in the supply. There's too much money out there. So now everything goes up and everything around you goes up. The cost of living goes up. All your family members that are still making $8 an hour, knowing you making 20, now their demands of you are up. They want more money. They asking you. We don't know that brother's situation. And the reason why too is because we have been taught to not just fake it till you make it, but hey man, don't let nobody know your problems. You can't let niggas know your problems anyway, because then look at how they did old brother from the Cosby Show. You know, this motherfucker's working at Trader Joe's and some bitch snuck a picture and thought she was gonna shame him, but everybody like, nigga, he work in Hollywood. What do you think? Nigga, Hollywood is not forever. And nigga, he was on the Cosby Show. That was 30 years ago. Nigga, you gotta get it like you live. Now, Mr. Cosby, Bill Cosby, he made it where everybody go to school and put their bread aside. Okay, but nigga, that's it. He not gonna take care of you forever. And I feel like niggas think that niggas ain't gonna never fall off. And then when you do fall off, you're so embarrassed to even admit it to people because they always picture you in this life, especially your own folk. Black folk are the worst a lot of times when it comes to the demise of our success, you know, and our rise and our fall, if we weren't good people. But if we were good people, sometimes they still do that, because this brother had, you know, demons, problems like all of us do. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the times is before niggas start getting on that therapy and all this other shit, man, you wouldn't need therapy if black folk had intrinsic value in each other. That's just how I feel. If we had real intrinsic value in each other and we didn't come from broken homes due to the system of racism and white supremacy, things would be a lot different for black folk in this country. That's why every other racial group comes here and they look at us crazy and be looking like, how are we addicted to this and all this other stuff? Hey, man, you medicate yourself, man, because the harsh realities around you is fucked up. Maybe you make enough money where you can't take care of everybody in your life and you can't do everything that you would like to do. But what ends up happening is you drink or you smoke. And then, you know, some people like, man, the weed, it ain't helping me. So now they want to go to something else, especially when you black in the United States of America Incorporated. Like I keep saying, I don't like watching people post a whole bunch of shit about a dead person. What I like is for people to post a bunch of shit about people while they're alive. Fuck all that when they gone now. So what were you doing when they were alive is the question. Not what they gone now. So all their flowers and their appreciations should be done when they're on this planet. And the reason why I say that is because we like to aggrandize death on social media as if we were the next person closest to that motherfucker. But then when they were alive, weren't alive, you wasn't really dealing with that motherfucker like that. And that's what I don't do. I don't really do the RIPs on social media. I don't really do that I get it, but I really don't do that because, well, what were you doing when they was alive? Like me, the last good memories I remember of Michael K. Williams was on Lovecraft. He played a good character on there, even though the character, of course, Hollywood, and that's Hollywood. They gonna make it a moist character. They do shit like that. To me, they do sucker shit like that. They put you in a dress or somehow, some way, they write the character where it's gotta be some moist shit or something like that. And I understand, and I give that brother props because, he was acting. You know what I mean? And, to each his own. I don't know that brother's lane and all this other stuff. And niggas could talk all that shit they want. But if a nigga, but if a white motherfucker with power in Hollywood say, well, I'm gonna make you famous and I'm gonna make you so much fucking money, just put on the dress. A lot of niggas be like, man, I ain't put on no dress, man. Y'all niggas got me fucked up. Then them bills start piling in. You got that power bill and that gas bill and that water bill out there, nigga, and that rent and that car note and all that shit fucking with your ass. You gonna be like, fuck, man. How many times I gotta put on the dress? Well, you gotta put on the dress for the whole scene. Okay. I gotta wear a wig? Yep. Then you start thinking, well, at least I ain't gotta kiss nobody. You know what I'm saying? So stop. We don't know that person. We don't know what you'll do. Everybody got a price. Y'all niggas be talking, look, y'all niggas be talking shit about me. Nigga like, oh man, Warren talking all that shit. That nigga put on a dress until I PayPal you some bread or Cash App you some money. I bet you your ass will hush the fuck up then. Motherfucker like, man, I can't believe this nigga Warren put on a dress. And I'm like, hey man, what's your Cash App? Man, my Cash App is woo woo. Man, here go 50 grand. Nigga, you gonna be like, oh shit. You better keep wearing them dresses, motherfucker. So we don't know, man. And when you're dealing with Hollywood and the dominant white society and the white Jewish folk that own Hollywood and run it as their own little backyard, you don't know the stipulations and things that they got going on and the stresses that people are having. That's why when I didn't say nothing right away, and I was going to do a podcast yesterday, I didn't have the time, but I was like willing to wait. And I knew they was going to come. I knew eventually because, a lot of times, damn, man, you find somebody they passed out, but I think that brother was just dealing with a lot of stress, man. Life is stressful, man. And what I don't like is for a motherfucker like Akon, who told us to forget about slavery, to talk about Michael K. Williams. Akon, you can shut your black ass up and not say a motherfucking thing. Because we don't need to hear from you, nigga. You's the main one on there talking about, oh, man, we need to just forget about slavery. We have to move on, man. Then why don't you take your bitch ass back to where the fuck you came from? I'm tired of niggas talking that we need to get about slavery. Well, of course you're going to say that. You didn't build the country. And you don't know what he's going through talking about, man. Wealthy people's stress is worse than poor people. No, nigga. Stop that shit too. Poor people got a lot of stress too. We just don't have the resources to cope with it. That's all it is. We got stress too. But a nigga just don't have the resources to sit around and cope with it all day. That's all that is. So stop with the bullshit. And I don't want to hear a motherfucker talk about mental health. Man, fuck all that mental health. We need to have intrinsic value in each other. And we need to stop running to the black Christians and praying to Cesare and then run into these goddamn therapists who got more problems than you do and ain't really gonna be able to understand where you coming from. Maybe if it's a black therapist, maybe it might be a little different. You know what I'm saying? But stop running to these motherfuckers, man, in the name of, mental health and all this other shit, man. Because I'm telling you, these white folk gonna use it against you. Motherfucker gonna keep talking. You see, we co-signing mental health and what they do to Dylan Roof. Oh, he was mentally ill. So you motherfuckers better be careful and be mindful of that rhetoric that the dominant white society give you to run with. And we got to stop going hard on each other and start having that same energy towards the dominant society. What I mean this, don't have Bootsy on the Breakfast Club or nothing, y'all pressing him and all this other shit. But Ben Affleck, no, it wasn't Ben Affleck, it was Matt Damon. That was that nigga Matt Damon. That nigga Matt Damon was like, yeah, I say faggot, fuck the faggots, all this other shit. Then he tried to come out, but you see they ain't really shaming. Where the LGBTQ, LMNOP, XYZ community on Matt Damon? That's another thing about them alphabet motherfuckers. They don't never go after them white people, but they'll definitely go after niggas in a heartbeat. And making this big deal about the baby and all this other shit. They didn't mention no bullshit at all towards them, but they just took offense to it. But ain't nobody talking about Ed Buck. Let me just break this down. Ed Buck was the futuristic Jeffrey Dahmer. The motherfucker was getting the moist motherfuckers high as fuck, playing this Jim Jones shit, but he was still waking up. But these niggas is dead. Ain't nobody said shit. Nobody, not the Democratic Party, not nothing. Then it come out like, oh, he was getting off on that. I just want to get niggas high and do all types of bullshit to him and then watch him die. He was getting off on that shit, like Jeffrey Dahmer, but ain't nobody saying nothing about that shit at all. At all. I always look at it like this, man. That's another thing, too. I like to listen. I like to wait. If y'all notice, I won't talk about shit right away. Now I just wait. And wait. Like yesterday I said, nah, you know what, it's too late. Nah, I'm going to wait. I want to see what they going to say. And I want to see who else is going to comment on it. And motherfuckers coming out, oh, he had a drug problem or this, and that. And it's like, well, y'all niggas don't know what he had going on. I was watching motherfucking Raising Kanan Power Book 3 or 2 or whatever the fuck it is. Power Book 3. And they basically, the nigga was cooking up some motherfucking shit that was killing niggas. And the motherfucker just took one hit of the shit and was dead. These was dope fiends that took one shit of his dead. Y'all don't know what he got a hold of. You don't know whatever he got a hold of, it came from the dominant society. That's a motherfucking fact. And if you don't believe me, you better go ask Gary Webb. Oh, my bad, I forgot. The CIA orchestrated his murder and made it seem like he committed suicide. Now, how do you shoot yourself in the head twice? How does that happen? Man, get the fuck out of here. That's because Gary Webb was a whistleblower and was like, hey, what y'all doing to these black people are fucking wrong. See, Gary Webb told us what was being said when we wasn't in the room. And you notice every dominant society person that tells us what's being said about us when we're not in the room, they never talk about them. Like they don't never talk about John Brown. They don't never talk about John Brown at all. They don't never talk about him. But they'll talk about all these other white motherfuckers who really was for slavery. And like they'll tell you about Abraham Lincoln all goddamn day like he freed the slave. Man, Abraham Lincoln was like, fuck them niggas. Man, we gotta save this union, man. But we'll cloak it as we freed the slaves. Man, get the fuck entirely up out of here. Hey, no compromise. I see you, my nigga. What's happening? Wake up, man. I was looking at this thing, too, about what Paul Pierce said. And it was so funny because I was just thinking about Paul Pierce. Y'all need to go check out Baron Davis's interview on All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Hey, man, go check out Baron Davis. Baron Davis was saying some real live facts. I had to listen. I damn near listened to it twice because he was saying some real shit. He was talking about the owner of the New Orleans Hornets or the Pelicans or whatever, the New Orleans Hornets, and how it used to be the Charlotte Hornets, and how the owner was talking crazy to him and tried to run up on him. And Baron Davis had to tell him, if you run up on me, man, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Fuck you and your money. And it reminded me so much of the corporate plantation and how the dominant society acts at these jobs. Oh, my God. They are so protected at these jobs. That's why you don't never really see them out. When you do, they very, very quiet. And they don't say nothing because now, hey, man, welcome to my world now, motherfucker. But most of these motherfuckers, all they do is call the police on you if you look at them crazy. And he was talking about, he was just talking about loyalty. He was talking about how he beat the game and fired his agent, and how Baron Davis is a very intelligent brother, and how, these motherfuckers didn't want to pay motherfuckers. And then he was talking about how greedy the owners of the Golden State Warriors were. Now, I want y'all to listen to this. The owner of the Golden State Warriors, now which I do know this from talking to other people that were in the NBA, when you go to the playoffs, you get playoff checks. And the more further you advance, the more of them checks be. Well, Jason Richardson, with his playoff check, he wanted to give it to, I guess, one of the trainers, one of the workers that worked at Golden State, low-level workers or whatever, motherfuckers like us. The owners was all pissed off. Like, what are you doing that for? And he, Baron Davis like, y'all niggas are greedy, bruh. Like, damn, man, y'all already making all this money. Y'all want us to help these motherfuckers out? Because they want you to stay in a fetal position, a subservient position where you'll always be dependent upon them. Not knowing that there's a billion motherfuckers in the United States of America. So if you help one motherfucker out, it'll be another person that'll come along. That's how the system recycles itself. But a lot of times the system doesn't recycle itself. What it does is it works that one worker to death as that number until you damn near, you can't get a hard dick, you can't hardly breathe, you can't do this, you on all these goddamn medications, you fucked up, and then after that, now they got you on a medication fucking regimen. You know what I'm saying? To take care of this and take care of that and all this other stuff. They not telling you about motherfucking CMOS. They not telling you about Tahuti Ma'at Ra, a black natural herbalist that was in Hidden Colors. You know what I'm saying? They're not telling you, and just let people know, Tahuti Ma'at Ra's prices are not expensive at all. They are very, very well priced. Erica, I see you. What's happening? I'm telling you, man. When I was watching, I just was like, and I started thinking about Paul Pierce, and I'm like, you know, the ESPN got a lot of nerve, man. You know, they parted ways with Paul Pierce because he had a stripper party on Instagram Live. First of all, those women weren't really butt naked like that. They weren't doing anything. And he's at his home, he's having a good time, and he's not married, he's divorced. So, what the fuck was all that about? You know what I mean? And then, what I don't like about ESPN is, how y'all gonna do that to somebody as if y'all are the moral compass of us? You know, ESPN act like they're so morally conscious. First of all, Disney owns ESPN, and look up Walt Disney, that racist motherfucker who did not like niggas at all, and neither does his kids. Or none of his family members like Disney. I mean, none of the Disney family members like niggas. But I'll tell you this, why are we not morally attacking them for all the morally conscious bullshit that they did towards black folk and how they view black people? Why are we not calling Elvis to the floor for saying only thing a nigga could do is shine his shoes? That thieving motherfucker. That's exactly why motherfucker Ray Charles like, man, Elvis Presley was a thief. He wasn't talented. He's just doing what black people was doing the whole time. Man, get the fuck out of here. Man, fuck Elvis Presley. And it's good fucking Priscilla at 13 years old talking about, oh, we was sleeping in separate rooms. Oh, that you mean after he was done fucking her, right? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Y'all niggas better wake the fuck up, man. And understand, people like Michael K. Williams, those are the people, just because they're acting like they don't need no help or they not stressed out doesn't mean that they are. They aren't. This is something I always say. Just because I'm not walking around with a fucking calling card or a billboard about my bills and my stress don't mean I'm not stressed out. Don't mean that I'm fucking sad and sometimes get depressed like, damn, what the fuck it is. If you work at a corporate plantation and you black and you not mad, you got a problem. Straight up. As Dr. Claude Anderson teaches. You should be mad as hell. And after listening to Dr. Claude Anderson and reading his books, I've read 3 out of his library pack. I've read Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, and 100, the Black History Reader. After reading those books, I'm like, damn, I've always been mad, but I've always been told, just be thankful you have a job. You know, from black folk and from white folk, just be thankful you have a job and all this other stuff. You know, and that's one way of looking at it, but why would I be thankful that white folk are employing me and my people when my people built this country for fucking free? That's why the book is called Black Labor, White Wealth. I'm like, wait, hold on. I had to put 2 and 2 together like, oh shit, no wonder he said that. Yeah, nigga, black labor equals white wealth. So why would I be happy about building a country for y'all to benefit off of it? So y'all can still keep us in the matrix? While you look at the fucking wealth gap and you look at the people that's running the stock market and all that, Jeff Bezos, white, Warren Buffett, white, Bill Gates, white, Mark Zuckerberg, white. And it's like, and it's no diss, but it's like, but y'all want to tell us that it's fair? What the fuck you mean it's fair? This shit ain't never been an equal balance between all the other racial groups. Because if it was an equal balance between all the other racial groups, out of those 5 people, 4 people I named, at least 2 of them would be black. But none of them are at all. That's why in the history schools, they don't teach you about Gabriel Prosser. They don't teach you about Denmark Vesey. They teach you about Harriet Tubman, and they teach you about, who else? Frederick Douglass. They don't teach you about nobody else. They don't teach you about Jeremiah Hamilton. They don't teach you all about Queen Nzinga. They don't teach you about Hannibal. That motherfucker had them elephants fucking them niggas up, didn't he? No Compromise know what I'm talking about. That motherfucker was cold. That motherfucker was like, God damn, what the fuck are we gonna do with this nigga? This nigga had these elephants on point. But I'm just saying, these are just things that we gotta learn and we need to think about. Remember, you heard it first here. Stop posting motherfuckers when they dead. Enjoy them while they're alive. And that's why I don't do that, is because, well, what were you doing when they were dead? It's just like family members. It's just like coworkers and people like coworkers. I remember I had a coworker and I was cool with him. We chopped it up a lot. But when he was on his deathbed, I saw a lot of people at his funeral, but I didn't see none of them niggas at his bedside. And I was at the hospital, at Mountain View Hospital, every motherfucking day. I could talk about it now, bringing that nigga's family food, all that shit. Because those were things that they needed. They were stressed out, right? Now, I noticed it was people that even really didn't deal with him went to the hospital because they felt bad. I fucked more with them than all these niggas that I saw at the goddamn funeral. I saw so many people at the funeral. I was like, it's a lot of motherfuckers in this funeral, at this funeral. But I was at the motherfucking hospital by his bedside every day. That's why at the funeral at the motherfucking cemetery, his family all gave me a hug. Everybody was looking around because they was kind of like, who is that guy? Nigga, because I was there when it counted. I was there when nobody else saw. And that's a motherfucking fact. And that's what I would want for me and anybody else. I don't want nobody televising. I never televised nothing. People were looking, but nobody really knew what was going on because I was the one coming up there all the time. I'm not saying that I was the only one, but nigga, I didn't see a lot of people, and I was going up there damn near every motherfucking day. And I didn't see a whole lot of people. So it's like, we got to stop waiting until people damn near on their deathbed or people who are dead to be like, oh, let me post this picture of Michael K. Williams. It's just like DMX. I got love for DMX. DMX one of the greatest rappers of all time, man. Top 10 at least. But it's like, yeah, you can't help a person that don't want to be helped, and I understand that too. But I feel like that person that introduced him to that dope, he should be put in front of a judge of, a jury of his peers, and he should be sentenced to some type of prison time. Hey, man, that was an alternating ending thing for DMX. You alternated his life. He didn't know what he was smoking. That ain't cool. And it's like, and motherfuckers do that shit. It's like, damn, man, that's dope. So you can't do that. But I understand, black folk, we don't know no better a lot of times, and we're not hard on each other when it comes to, I would say, moving our people forward. But we're hard on each other in broke shaming each other, teasing each other about not having no money. But when it comes to the productivity of our people and moving our people forward and supporting black businesses, we don't want to do that. We want to talk shit and ask you what kind of Jordan you got on. And now look, I love Michael Jordan. I love his shoes. But goddamn, man, the first thing a nigga do is look down at your shoes and look at what kind of car you got, and then they automatically says, oh, they ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we got to get out of that, because really don't nobody that's black in the United States of America have any money compared to Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett and all these other dominant white society motherfuckers that manipulate and run the stock. So stop. And when there is a nigga that comes along that's where they at, or even close to where they at, oh, he gonna get slapped down, because it's already designed that way. It's just like the Matrix. That's why I am patiently awaiting this new Matrix 4 that's coming out at the end of the year. I'm a big time Matrix fan. Shout out to Sophia Stewart. That's one of my goals, to interview her. I got to get on that and email her, but I'm just very interested to see what they're going to do, because if you watch the 3 Matrix, if you watch them, they're telling you what life is about. Oh yeah, the machine world needs humans to power the system. And when they feel like think about it. When they start awakening people and people were ejecting themselves from the system, the machine world was like, oh, hell no, then we got to have a war. Because, nigga, we need people to fund and fuel this system. And that's why when you watch The Matrix and he went to see the source, the architect is looking at him like, nigga, y'all ain't never happy. We done destroyed this system 6 times, motherfucker. You ain't the one. You are the 6th one of the one. And we've destroyed it so many times, I'm getting quite good at it. Yes, I'm a big time Matrix fan. I watch it over and over again because you're going to learn something different every fucking time. And a black sister wrote that movie. So niggas should be studying it because I do. Why do you think Cypher said, I know this steak isn't real, but my mind is telling me it's juicy. That nigga Agent Smith was like, man, just tell me where the motherfucking keys to Zion is. Because that nigga Agent Smith wanted to get out of the system because he was even tired of the system. He was bored. So he was like, well, I don't even want to be in this system anymore. I'm tired of it. So y'all got to understand this, man. Life is very important. And life of black folk is very important, man, because, you know, the amount of stress that's on us every day is fucked up, man, as a black man, as a black sister. It's fucked up, man. I don't care who you date. It doesn't matter who you date. You can date a purple bitch. And then and the system could be revolved around purple. But that bitch is purple, not you. So I don't care who you date. Motherfuckers be trying to get, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You are the one with the skin. You're the one that's melanated. So that person can't take that stress away from you. Ask Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre got $1 billion and them motherfucking police ran right up in his basically driveway and told him, you shut the fuck up and get on the motherfucking ground or you gonna be a dead Dr. Dre, nigga. That's what they did to him. Remember that. So we have to understand, man, there's a great deal of stress that goes on when you are in the limelight, in the public eye and all that stuff. It's a great deal of stress that is very hard to motherfucking maintain. Cause you know, motherfuckers be expecting you, cause you on TV, you got a whole bunch of money. Nigga, what if you got a whole bunch of family you got to take care of, you got to support? It's just like NBA players, man. NBA players that get them $100 million contracts. Everybody act like they get them $100 million contracts when they're retired. You ain't getting shit when you retire. Really, you get a check from the NBA, but you ain't getting no money like that. So remember this. What are you doing with people while they on this earth? Fuck when they dead. Nigga, I need my shit now. Appreciate me now. And appreciate me by not wasting my motherfucking time. Call me about some bullshit. And if you're not trying to be progressive in your movement, we're trying to establish a system of justice for black folk, meaning reparations, land, wealth, resources, then you can just get the fuck away from me. Straight up. Hey, man, that's my time. I kind of went over. That's my time. No compromise. Erica, Shawnee, y'all already know what it is. Tasha, I know I see y'all. I get y'all messages. Hey, man, I fuck with y'all niggas, man. Just remember this. Go look at the shit people saying about Michael K. Williams. It's not that it's negative. It's just, well, what the fuck was y'all doing? And how close was y'all? And what type of... Apparently, nobody was really that close with him because somebody would really be in tune with what he had going on. Because we don't want to take the time to see what the fuck is going on with people. We'll do it at work all day long because we think we're going to get some type of bonus check or some shit for worrying about, oh, is we sick, boss? That type of shit. And listen to somebody else's drama in their family and personal life, man. Fuck them motherfuckers at the goddamn court plantation. If they ain't melanated and they're not coming from an authentic place, fuck them. Stay in your lane. Keep moving forward. 2 roads diverge in the yellow woods. I took the ones less traveled. If a motherfucker talking about, yeah, man, I don't know why he was stressed because, you know, he was rich. Guilty, nigga. You have no idea what it is to be a black person in the United States of America Incorporated. And if you are black, you're a Sambo Coon, Tim about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd, Steve from Django, motherfucker. I'm out. Peace.